Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. Man, getting it fired up. Matter of fact, the news is Buddy's in town. So it's going down.
Hey, yeah, I'm in town and I've seen this traffic. Yeah, I'm seeing some things, and word is I'm not the only one in town. Illin Pillins making a rarefied air appearance on the north side for a federal photo op. Yeah, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it.
And then some. And then some. It's also a Friday. So that you know what that means. Love Supreme Friday. We'll be talking about people from the Omaha representing it out in Cannes Film Festival, getting down and all that good stuff. So definitely share. Yeah, you put your pinkies high, number one. But also share what you got going on this weekend. It is a Love Supreme weekend, so we'll be talking about that too. And like Buddy mentioned, meet up with the mayor is going down. It's let's just get it fired up.
Let's start the show.
First Sky Omaha in the morning. Money. Once again, welcome. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Happening right now. It's going down. It is 7:01. If you believe in the concept of time and live in Omaha, Nebraska, where it's about a little bit chilly, 45 somewhere. Yeah, it's a little chilly this morning. But we welcome you anyway on this 22nd day of May 2026. It is our monthly meetup with the mayor, so we're very, very excited. And it happens to be on a Love Supreme Friday, which also makes us excited. And triply excited because Buddy's in town. As you can see, in a remote studio this time around. So, yeah, man, in town, and it's going down. We got all kinds of stuff coming up. Content Creator Camp tomorrow. Our third session is happening. We're getting close to that final session where we will be able to see some work from the students, which is super cool. And we'll have a special little presentation for them when we do our Chad Chalmers kickback this summer as well. Every time Buddy's in town, that's what I start thinking about. Chad Chalmers kickback. He's got to redeem himself because I think Jimmer Snipes is still reigning champ on the Bones board. Yeah. Shout out to kickbacks. How you doing today, buddy?
Man, feeling good. Definitely was not expecting it to be this cold. You know what I mean? But it is Omaha, so glad I packed the hoodies. You know what I'm saying?
Always got to pack the hoodies. That's right.
Need a couple of them. But definitely looking forward to today's conversation. Kind of mad I missed last night. Definitely want to talk about that as well. I love boosters. From what I hear, went down. Shout out to our partners at Film Streams. Definitely going to be talking about that. But yeah, man, just definitely feeling good to be home. Yeah, it feels good to be home, man. Omaha is definitely changing. We haven't really talked about it. I didn't know that they were adding to CHI. It's like a whole thing going, a whole new wing, man. It's I mean, everywhere you turn is something different. So yeah, we got lots to talk about.
They created a whole new side of town just for the medical center over there. Yes,
pretty much
something else. How was your drive down, man? You drove down this time, right?
Yeah. Actually, was able to kind of dodge. I'll be honest, I was a little worried. All the tornadoes that was happening throughout the country before, like earlier this week. Of course, there are several that touched down in Omaha. But apparently there are some tornadoes in like Alabama, a couple, other states in my neck of the woods, if you will. But luckily we were able to dodge some of those major storms. Nothing too crazy weather wise. As far as the drive, I mean, it's 14-hour drive. It's not for the weak. Yeah, it's not for the weak, man. But
go straight through.
No, I took a nap. Took a nap right outside of St. Louis. But this is actually my second time this year taking a trip that long. Of course, earlier this year I went to South by Southwest, which I drove that way as well. But man, we've been talking about it. The way these gas prices are looking, hey, that might be the mode of transportation for this year.
Yeah, man, I definitely hear that. Well, I'm glad you made it, and you had some safe travels.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because it's always treacherous when you're driving up from the south, just politically in all kinds of different ways. So that's what's up.
Man, yeah, forgot my green book.
That's right. I was gonna say, where'd you take a nap at? Did you open up the green book for that? Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. Pops gives us a good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you. RG says, morning, y'all. Hey. Sean McCarthy says, good morning, First Sky team and Chimers. Thank you. RG said, pig swill pilling among on the people today, huh? What that fool want? Yeah, we gonna see.
Yeah,
We'll see. We
yeah,
definitely got some questions for the mayor this time around, so I can't wait till
yeah.
we are able to talk to him. Also, Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Hey, we're talking
Hey,
about tomorrow. Also, Marlon Harrison in the chat. Man about town. Good morning, First Sky
man.
family, and happy TGIF for everyone. Man, listen, if you haven't peeped out Marlon Harrison's interview over there on Channel 7, peep it out.
Man,
Peep it out. Had me
man.
choked up. I was like, my man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I was proud.
Yeah.
It's a good move, Marlon. When you said you got an ecosystem of you got a good support system of family. I was like, man, I hope he means us too. Yeah, yeah, that was good, man. It was good, bro. We will definitely do that. I'll put the link in the chat for you guys to be able to see that in its entirety, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in
Hmm.
the show here for sure. He says since my interview dropped, I've been calls, text, emails, letters, and people coming up to me talking to me about how I inspired them. Some of these messages and calls made me cry, bro. I'm trying to tell
Man, man. Look,
you,
got
hey,
choked up.
I
Hey,
was I,
have your napkins ready. Have your napkins ready.
I was definitely choked up too, man. For real, for real. Ariel's 402 in the chat saying, buddy, golf, I'm off today. Smash a little white ball. What's happening, y'all?
Come on, Mayor. Let's get down, man.
Let's get down indeed. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy. Do us a favor, share the
Hey.
show on your YouTube or your Facebook page. Easy to do if you're on YouTube. Share the link. We want to get as many people in the conversation as we can. And of course, support the mayor coming on through. We got our monthly meetup with the mayor happening. Mayor John Ewing Jr. We just had the chief of staff to the mayor, Brother Tommy Warren, on
Mhm.
last Wednesday. And so this is a continuation of, just two young men from North Omaha that go way back that are running the city right now in a big way. I got to speak to some family members about it yesterday, and they were just, yeah, we remember both of them. That's cool. That's what's happening. Yeah, it is.
Mm,
Let's see what's going to come of it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the deal for me. So
that
yeah,
part.
we'll get to it. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple community updates today. It is Friday, so we'll have a little bit more extensive haps today. And again, if you have any haps, anything going on this weekend, especially art related, family related, something fun, something that takes us out of the fight for a minute, I'd love to hear about it. And definitely we'll put it in the chat here or Friends of First Guy Omaha so we can know about it. But yeah, last night we all did gather around for I Love Boosters. We'll be talking about that a little bit. It was Film Streams, who is our new partners, and they teamed up with one of our old partners, the Culture House,
Hey.
and put a presentation together here for I Love Boosters. So we'll be talking about it very very soon. We already mentioned, of course, that our third content creator camp is coming on Saturday, coming tomorrow morning, and anxious to see everybody who signed up there. It's been a good class, a good cohort of people and some good work that I think is getting ready to happen here too. And then shout out to Marlon Harrison, who just on the strength wanted to come by and hang out with the new cohort as well. So shout out to him for coming by and making it lively. Also, tickets go on sale. Tickets are already on sale now for Noma Fest 5. Highly suggest you check this out. It's not as straightforward as we thought in the beginning because they're going to have these shows elsewhere. I think there's one or two nights will be on the Deuce, and then another night is going to be Riverfront. I didn't memorize it, so I highly suggest you go check it out at Noma. Go to their website, check out nomafest.com, and make sure you get some tickets for some of these shows that are coming up for real. 13th through the 16th of August. Highly suggest you check it out. 4 nights of live music to benefit North Omaha music and arts. It's a benefit concerts, but also, I mean, who is bringing these kind of heavy hitters to Omaha? Shout out to Dana Murray, Noma, and everybody who's behind these shows right here. You can see this. It's going to be an extensive situation, big time, big time. I hope to get to talk to Richie Love this time around too, man. I never really get to talk to him
Mm.
when he comes out. I always miss him. So looking forward to speaking to him and just catching up with him, man, and the family and everything. The legacy. We've been talking a lot about legacy right now in North Omaha, especially the Love family. So I will definitely be checking in with him and maybe even get somebody on the show from that lineup. Also, in the community updates, the summer camp is coming. Shout out to Assembly of the Saints, man. Shout out to Pastor Ballard. You can also register by going to AOC camp. I'm sorry, AOS camp. Excuse me, AOS camp at upsavvysolutions.com. Or you can just go to Assembly of the Saints page and go check them out. I'm sure they got some links over there too. This starts June 2nd through the 30th. It's a free camp, hands-on STEM, gardening, food lab, games, and life skill activities for ages 5 through 12. So if you got kids that age, this is the time. Sign them up for AOS summer camp. Beautiful situation, man. If you remember, Sherman Wells, they did the what was it, 20 weeks of summer over there last year, and we really got to see, the facility, the way they feed the people around, also the grounds. They did races and stuff out there on the grounds. They got a lot of grounds around there for kids to run around, have a good time, and they always got some kinds of activities and things set up for the kids. So I'm sure this is going to continue on here with the AOS summer camp. We'll have Pastor Ballard on to talk about this here shortly as well. But definitely register and sign up, man. I would highly suggest get involved with what goes on over there at Assembly of the Saints. They're really holding some things down there on the north side in a big way. So shout out to them. Also, the next Coffee with Developers is coming up. This is Saturday, May 30th. So this is next week. Get ready for that. Engage with local development leaders. Share ideas, strengthen community connections. If you remember, we had Elena Nichols on. She was from Omaha 100. She came over here talking about coffee with developers a few weeks back. If you missed her interview, definitely go check it out. Elena Nichols had a really good conversation with her, but she's been putting this coffee with developers on for a while. It's a monthly series that's been going on, and there's some real heads that showed up. I think Senator McKinney was there at the last one speaking. So yeah. Definitely talk about it. Coffee with Developers is happening May 30th, and this is going to be a major conversation around development and access to capital in Omaha. If you ever wanted to know how to find your next project, what banks are looking for, or how developers are getting access to money, this is the room you need to be in. Shout out to Elena Nichols for putting this together with Fiber First Land Bank and a whole bunch of other folks to put this Coffee with Developers on. Serious event to go check out for sure. Got to do it. Also, Clarice Dombeck is calling for volunteers with the redress movement. She says, as many of you know, from my day job, I'm the senior campaign organizer for the redress movement. We're very excited to launch this community canvas. I need your help to get the word out. Share this opportunity with someone you know. So definitely hit her up over there. There's a link, as you can see right there on the page. We'll put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well, and I'll try to grab that link for you. But definitely volunteer. I think they're really trying to do something about abolishing unfair rental situations. In this case, application fees is going to be the one they tackle this time around. So, yeah. And we'll be talking a little bit about some rental situations here on this show as well. So shout out to Clarice Dombeck. She's not just doing transportation over in the city, but she's also still trying to create some housing for people, and on that tip as well. So shout out to her. Shout out to Redress Movement. Definitely check this out on Friends of First Sky Omaha. So yeah, for now we'll go ahead and take a quick break on not a break from on the show, but a break from these community updates, because there's going to be a lot throughout the show. This is Love Supreme Friday, so we like to talk about things that are going on this weekend. But I definitely want to get to today's thread so that we can anticipate our guest coming, Mayor Ewing. But what's going on as far as today's thread is concerned, buddy? What's happening today? What's going on?
Yeah, man. Well, it is the Love Supreme Friday, so we're going to kind of keep it loose on today. I actually want to start the show off giving some love out, man. Of course, as you mentioned earlier, there's some native Omahans representing in the south of France, man. So definitely wanted to shout that out here in a second, and just really just give some love, man, just all the way around, not just to our friends out in France, but also friends here locally making some moves. Of course, Brother Marlon Harrison. Look, if you haven't seen that interview, go check it out. Shout
out to KTV on that. KET.
Yes, definitely. I also see Sister Kimra in the chat talking about graduation. Marlon is doing his content creator thing, man. Actually sent us some photos from some of the graduations that we'll be sharing a little later on. Some of his photo journalism, if you will. News gang doing the thing, man. So definitely be talking about that. Also, speaking of news gang, there's a couple of documentaries that are actually pretty germane to what we've been talking about here on the show. Shout out to Sister Cheryl Western, who was featured in a documentary about OPPD in the fight to keep the air clean. So definitely going to highlight that. And then also, I don't know if you caught wind, but she's been out in LA, but she's definitely an Omaha native, Sister Janae White Lucas. She's the host of the Gen Zone, and she has a documentary that's featured now on Paramount Plus talking about everything going on in this country politically. The documentary, or actually docu-series, is called Road to White House. So we'll kind of be highlighting those things and just, giving some news gang love, especially as we are reaching the halfway mark of our content creator camp. Again, working to strip or equip, there we go, everybody with the tools needed to tell their own stories in their own communities, because nobody can do it like you, man. So of course, we're also going to speak directly to the mayor. Today is our monthly meetup with the mayor, so looking forward to that conversation. Of course, have your questions ready. We are limited on time with the brother. He's a very busy brother, so definitely keep those concise. But yeah, if you have some questions, definitely want you to have your voices be heard, let your mind be free. And of course, we're here for the next 2 hours, so if there's anything that we're missing the mark on, definitely let us know. Of course, going to dive into this housing situation. Also, shout out to our friends over at Tenants United, making moves as far as trying to shore up the rights of our tenants, and then also some movement possibly on economic development. So yeah, we got a lot to get into in the next couple hours and more. So in the meantime, between time, Paul B, we're about 15 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, man.
How we doing?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Got some love in the chat. Appreciate that. Miss Erica Felt gave us a good morning. She was out there at the I Love Booster show last night.
Hey.
Yeah, me and her picking up on a lot of that Bay Area inside joke going on. We'll be talking about it for sure. Also, Ariel's 402 says, excuse me, he says, I saw Culture House and Marcy Yates on PBS. Yeah. Really? Shout out to Nebraska Public Media, who did a piece on Culture House. That was very good. So definitely check it out. He's getting some love as well. And we had a good conversation last night at the movie that we'll be getting into too. So yeah, shout out to Culture House, shout out to Film Streams, and shout out to Nebraska Public Media. That's what's up. Picking it up on there. Also, Kimber says, stop by the NOVC tomorrow if you would like to contribute to the Black Caucus strategic plan. We've been talking a lot about that. We got a lot of people who are very critical of the Black Caucus. So this is your opportunity to show up face to face, have a conversation, and be part of the strategic path that's going on with them. Shout out to Kimber for giving us that information. She said, I will be facilitating the second half of it. I will be there at 10 a.m. Appreciate that. So NOVC, you're talking about North Omaha Visitor Center. If you guys don't know what that is, we call it the Black City Hall these days, because all the important meetings going on there. As you mentioned before, she was congratulating all the graduates as well. That's happening right now. It's graduation time. She says, I had such a good time at the Central graduation yesterday, and I'll be speaking at the South graduation tonight. That's what's up.
Okay.
Shout out, man. Appreciate that. Miss Erica Felt said it was a good time last summer. We did have a great time over at Assembly of the Saints last time for sure. So them Michelle Marino's giving us a yes too. I won't forget about the stuff you cooked on them summer weekends. It was nice. It was good.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, wasn't that the start of the 3-plate crew? That was the start of the 3-plate crew.
Yeah, dude, for real. Heather Williams gives us a good morning. Appreciate you. Also, a cousin, Alan Faison, gives us a good morning. First guy, right on. RG says, "We scare blue." Yeah,
soccer blue.
We're gonna go to Cairns for a minute for sure. In the meantime, between times, take a quick break and we'll come back and jump into the stories. Again, this is our monthly meetup with the mayor. We are anticipating Mayor Ewing on shortly, so get ready for that. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy to God, Buddy in town in a new studio right now. Yeah, it's going down. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Get ready, Omaha. Join us for the Omaha Freedom Festival, a free, family-friendly celebration of Juneteenth on June 13th at Miller Park. Enjoy free food, community resources, and family fun from 12 to 5 p.m. Play basketball, kickball, dance, activities for all ages. Enter for a chance to win great prizes. Download your free day pass now at omahafreedomfestival.com. Celebrate freedom, family, food, and fun. The Omaha Freedom Festival. Everyone's invited and everything's free.
Welcome back. Welcome back for Scott Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, shout out to the Freedom Festival going down, always bringing it for the families, for the kids. It's coming up, and it's reminding us Juneteenth is coming up as well. There's a lot of activities going on around Juneteenth we'll have to dive into as well. And if you are associated with any, please let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Let's have a discussion about it. Lots of stuff coming up this summer. We need to talk to get down with Joy Fest as well. And, of course, it is the summertime, so we'll be doing a Chat Chimers kickback and possibly some other events going on this summer. So stay tuned for all of it. It is a Love Supreme summer. It's going down. Matter of fact, it really is a Love Supreme summer. We're going to try to get some work done as well, some creative work done this summer. Shout out Marcy Yates. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let's talk about that, man. Speaking of shout out to Marcy Yates, let's go ahead and dive in, man. The Culture House represented in a real way last night at Film Streams. Shout out also to our partners at Film Streams. Actually, we'll be having Amanda Kephart about due for another round to see what they have going on. So definitely big shout out to our partners at Film Streams. But of course, the fam was out there last night. I see you, Miss Erica Felt, Paul B. I'm mad I didn't get to make it, man. I was still recovering from the road. But yes, as you see on your screen, it went down. Of course, we've been talking about the movie and just kind of some of the tropes and conversations surrounding the project. But Paul B, man, now that you've seen the film, what's your take? I know we love some Boots around here, man. But how was the film, man? How'd it go?
It's wild, man. Boots is wild. That's all there is to it. I can't say no more than that. He's just wild. It's just wild. But it's what's really wild to me is the fact that he's so wild and so unconventional, and is absolutely not a dude, not a film dude. So it's like he is a dude that is just like, if I were to make a film, I would I would do this and that. Like it just is all over the place. Highly entertaining. Everybody was cracking up at a whole lot of different spots, man. And the thing that really stuck out to me too was like if you know Boots Riley, you know he's got a mission. You know this man, he is all for changing. He's all for being against capitalism. So it's always about the workers uniting. It's always about the people getting together in order to overthrow the powers that be. So however he tells a wild story, it's gonna come back to that, and it was pretty awesome. So I highly suggest. It ain't for the weak. So leave the kids at home, but definitely go check this out. And the thing about it though, to me, was kind of this message behind it that had a lot to do with fashion and how fashion gets stolen from our community a lot of times, even though they make us out to be the criminals if we're the boosters. That's kind of it rests on that. On some of that idea, but there's so much more when it comes to what Boots Riley got going on. It's a trip. But I like the marriage between what the film was talking about and how Marcy Yates and Culture House showed up, because they got their fashion show coming up. I'll be talking about that. They've been doing this fashion show now for a while, and they got their summer fashion show coming up pretty soon. So he brought up some folks. Talked a little bit about what was going on. They even called up some people out of the audience, did a little fashion show runway down the aisles type of thing. So yeah, it was highly entertaining, and I love the fact that they kind of married that with what's going on at Culture House and showed people that there was a lot going on on the north side of the city that had to do with what we were talking about there. So it was a good matchup, highly entertaining in the beginning when they did their thing, and then the movie was crazy. And again, man, just reinforced to me just this third space idea of us being able to get together and continue the conversation in a place, especially around a piece of art that has some messages to it, and some big time messages. So yeah, shout out to Film Streams and everybody doing what they did for sure on that.
Yeah, definitely big time. Film Streams gets down. Miss Erica Felt also kind of echoing what you're saying as far as the people coming together, saying it was the best film and we need to unionize in our respective fields. And actually, we'll be getting into that a little bit later on in the show, not just unionizing in our fields, but unionizing in areas of life. There's actually a tenants union, which, you don't necessarily get paid to be a tenant. It's not necessarily a field of work, but again, they're still unionizing. So definitely going to be talking about that here pretty soon, but I also appreciate you touching on the fashion part, because there is that aspect. As you talk about it, I think about the Dapper Dans of the world, and what he's given to Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Also, I just found out that it was a brother behind the style, the look, the silhouette of Polo. I didn't know that either. So
Yeah, man.
learning about that's pretty interesting. But moving along, man, Omaha, we have our own fashion icons in their own regard. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this, man. Shout out to brother Jared Hall, who is a fashion designer in his own right, as you see on the red carpet out there in the south of France, representing Omaha, right, man, making us proud, looking good at the Cannes Film Festival. I see you, RG, in the chat, talk about a croissant. You want a croissant?
Albert Bouillon Crayon, that's French, understand? Yeah, man. It's going down. Cannes Film Festival actually flew him out there, man. He's making some big waves. And this is just a great example to me of a cat that has decided that, I'm from Omaha. I'm gonna put something together with Omaha, but it's gonna have a worldwide viewpoint on it. Some attention on that. Luxury can come out of Nebraska as well.
Yeah.
Omaha, Nebraska representing. Matter of fact, I don't even know of any other luxury brands coming out of Omaha, Nebraska, except for this one. So my man, it's going down, and he's out there right now repping, and we also got some other folks out here repping from Omaha.
A fellow Viking of mine. Shout out to my girl Amber Michelle. She is an actress, director, and producer who's also out there at the Cannes Film Festival. You might have seen her on. She was on Snowfall a couple of episodes. She's also one of the feature actresses, characters on Beyond the Gate. Shout out to fellow Viking, Sister Amber, out there doing it big. Yeah. Congratulations, man. Omaha representing in the south of France. Pinkies up.
Hey, Miss Erica Feld, I was going to ask you. I forgot to ask you last night. Why they do my man La Russell so bad in the film? No, that was
sad. Dang.
About 2 seconds on there, and it was they was talking about him. It was cold. He was playing the character. He wasn't himself, but still.
Okay.
Yeah. See La Russell for 5 seconds, and then they dissing him. It was kind of funny though.
Dang.
Yeah, man. But I really just appreciating like the fact that we're so closely related to so much art. So much international film and music situations here. I had a really great discussion with Marcy Yates last night too, just about the Freedom Summer album when it came out in 2020, and all the hoopla there. Because if you guys know anything about the record company out here, Saddle Creek Records, they're actually a pretty legendary indie label that put a lot of alternative music out in the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I think they're still going. I think they got offices in LA now, but they're a pretty major situation. And there was never a hip hop record ever released until Freedom Summer, until Marcy Yates got signed with Saddle Creek Records and did that. And it was just a good conversation about how that brought so much of Omaha together in so many different ways. Put Culture House, Freedom Summer, everybody who was on Freedom Summer, Marcy Yates kind of on the map with that demographic of people, on the legendary run of the Saddle Creek Records runs, you know what I'm saying? So just really interesting how a lot of this is worldwide, man. These bands on Saddle Creek tour the world. So does Marcy Yates now, you know what I'm saying? So like, we're closer. I feel like we're closely related to a lot of the things that are going on in the art industry. I can't help but think about contacts out in California, like Terrace Martin, the fact that we had, Kamasi Washington, Thundercat, these guys come through here all the time. They're part of it. What you're doing out there in Atlanta at Stankonia Studios, sitting there with Far Side and cats that are coming through all the time. I'm like, listen, man, we're closely related here, and Omaha is always in the conversation. That's the killer part about it. It's always in the conversation. There's something brewing from Omaha, or coming from Omaha, or happening in Omaha all the time when it comes to Love Supreme art and international, recognition. So keep it up,
man. Yeah, and that was actually, near and dear to our heart and central in our mind when we started this, as far as First Sky Omaha, and the idea that Omaha is kind of, a microcosm of what's going on in the world, especially in our worlds. It is always interesting to see that, come to fruition, and not just in, Omahans representing cons, but also shout out to my sister John A. Lucas, who's also out in LA doing some things, man. Again, part of the news gang. which is something that's also near and dear to us, of course. So we're in the middle of literally our content creator camp. But again, John A. Lucas is a part of what we're calling News Gang. Of course, we haven't worked directly with her, but man, it's only a matter of time, man. We got this trailer. You want to show the
Yeah,
people real quick?
yeah.
Real quick,
Set it
man.
up.
Check
Set
this
it
out.
up. What are we about to watch?
Yeah, definitely check this out. This is a docu-series, kind of going along with the Love Supreme, vibe, as you all might know. Film, in our regard, is kind of the pinnacle of the Love Supreme, as far as putting in some news and journalism and journalistic principles with music and color and film and all of it coming together to really paint a picture and tell a story, man. So again, shout out to Sister John A. in this docu-series that's actually available now on Paramount Plus.
Hey.
All roads lead to DC. Check it out. Check it out. Roads.
To rock the mic, you know it gotta take skills. If you're lucky, it'll pay your bills. Always stay focused on your mission. Listen, people will let you know their position. Put them on their payroll, they want you to thrive. Now go share this with your homies, 1 through 5. Put them on their payroll, they want you to thrive. Now go share this with your homies, 1 through 5.
Omaha representing for real.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You might have heard me talk about Upward Bound. She was a Upward Bound alumni with me. Yeah. She was in Upward Bound with me and made it out to LA to do bigger and better things, man. So as you see, the Gen Zone is actually a show that she hosts, I believe, on Paramount. But yeah, we talk about Simone, MSNBC. Shout out to John A too, doing her thing. News gang.
Love it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and have a little bit more conversation, dive into one of the stories before we're anticipating our special guest today. It is our monthly meetup with the mayor time. So stay tuned for him. Get your questions ready and as a matter of fact, spread the word. Get as many people in on the conversation as you can, for sure. We appreciate everybody coming on through this morning. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
My name
is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. We'll be right back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddy to God. Hey, don't forget, we did partner up with the county on the lead poisoning situation. There's still some places that you can call to get some testing done, not just in your yard, but also with the health department when it comes to inside your home. And they talk a lot about spices and lead being in spices as well. You even got to watch what's in your cupboards, I guess, these days, for real. So definitely check it out. You can get tested. You can hit them up at 402-444-7823 or go to www.fightled.org. Get some more information, set up a test, and find out if, the paint or the walls or what's in your roof, what's in your ceiling, what's in your yard, any of those things are affected so they can be remediated, which means taken out of the way so you're not suffering from that anymore. So, definitely check it out. This is very prominent in the north side and the south side because of the older homes and the older situations where they had lead in the paint and paint chips and all kinds of stuff going on. So it's definitely out here for us. Definitely check it out. Also, I forgot to mention a little bit earlier, there's the mayoral pardons clinic coming up on the 27th from 6 to 8. It's going to be at Heartland's Workers Center. You can email ssimpson@aclunebraska.org or text 402-301-3944 for information. Shout out to ACLU for putting this together. Definitely check out this mayoral pardons clinic coming up. We'll have to talk to the mayor about what's going on here with this. But shout out to everybody who is a part of putting this together as well. definitely more information on Friends of First Sky Omaha, if you will.
Man.
Also, before we get back to you, man, Donnell Sessions is giving us a good morning. Appreciate you coming on in. Also, Marla Harrison says, like I always tell people to stop sleeping on Omaha when it comes to the arts. Heard that.
Man.
He says a lot of talented people come out of Omaha, from music to fashion to even comedy. People need to stop sleeping on us. Heard that. That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and jump into the story before our guest comes on. What's first on the agenda, buddy?
Yeah, man, let's go ahead and dive into the meat and potatoes, kind of the major story as far as this HUD situation. I see some chat, some chiming, definitely shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who has some things to say about the situation. But as you mentioned, not only, this pardon situation, we just got a lot to talk to our mayor about and not much time to talk about it. So let's kind of lay the groundwork a little bit. If you missed it, of course, there was, as I mentioned at the top of the show, a photo op opportunity and a rarefied air appearance of Ellen Pillin on the north side. Of course, if you missed it, Housing and Urban Development Secretary Scott Turner visited Omaha, as you see on the screen, alongside Mayor Ewing and Governor Jim Pillin, to look at the area, what they're calling an opportunity zone, which actually I didn't know this was an official designation, but the Highlander location, specifically 33rd and Grant Streets, was actually designated a opportunity zone in Trump's first administration, and now again they're pushing this whole opportunity zone. And kind of revisiting this project, saying that, again, this is a perfect example of what this project is supposed to produce. I know we've had some conversations about the Highlander, whether or not it's working or, has had the intended impact on the community, which is a whole nother conversation. But it is very interesting. Again, this situation, we've been asking throughout this whole conversation, not just with Highlander, but of course, as we've been fighting the towers, if you will, looking at what's going on with OHA, HUD has been very quiet in all of this. Again, where is HUD in all of this, as far as the tenants fight against bed bugs? And we'll jump into what the tenants themselves are doing to fight back. But again, a big question about whether or not the federal government, which again, directs some of the funds that go to public housing, what are they doing about it? So we'll definitely be talking about this. And also, I don't know, Paul, if you have that a comment from Senator McKinney, as I mentioned earlier, because while Ellen Pillin and Mayor Ewing were on the scene, it's quite interesting who you do not see in the picture. Again, Senator McKinney, who does represent the district, the area in which this opportunity zone is located, again, 33rd and Grant, had some things to say about him not only being there, but not being invited. It almost sounds like he had no idea this was going on. Saying politics as usual. So again, shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney for speaking out. But go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at his comment. He said Creighton University hosted the HUD secretary to discuss how we can make homes more affordable, cut bureaucratic red tape, and revitalize underdeveloped communities across our state. And nobody invited the chair of urban affairs, me, who's been focused on the exact issue for the past 4 years, politics as usual. So highly questionable. Definitely something I would love to ask the mayor about when it comes to what's going on here. Also, these opportunity zones, we haven't talked about it much, but there's some other stuff going on underground with these opportunity zones in places like the Deuce. As you know, First Sky Omaha, we're highly involved in trying to revitalize the 24th and Lake Street area, the Deuce area. And the new opportunity zone situation is going to affect that area as well. And there's already been some meetings at the what we're calling the Black City Hall over there at the Visitor Center about it. So there's going to be some news coming out about that as well. So the opportunity zones are something that you'll hear us talk about here in the next season, big time, because it's going to affect a few different areas besides the 30th Street area. So yeah, we'll definitely be in conversations with the mayor and many other people on this. And the next time we bring on Senator Terrell McKinney, we can talk to him a little further about some of these things and just try to find out what's the reason behind that snub there, if that's what it was. It was if they decided not to invite him for any particular reason or just didn't think about it. But again, whatever happened, it's almost like they're not recognizing too much about his contributions here to this as the chair of urban affairs has been working on it. We know him to be a person that's been working on housing, prison reform, and all kinds of things, because we have him on pretty regularly and can talk about all the things that he's working on. And we've definitely heard him work on these things when it comes to housing and how to figure out how to solve that housing problem. So, as far as we're concerned, he's a wise dude who's got a lot of wisdom, experience, and knowledge on certain subjects. This is one of them. Wonder why he got left out. We'll have to ask the mayor about it and talk about it a little bit more too, and just kind of see what HUD's plans are. That's kind of really what I'd like to know.
Big time.
Yeah.
See Sister Kimra in the chat giving us a little extra information also as far as the opportunity zones, saying there's some meetings coming up around exactly what you're talking about, Paul, around the Deuce. Actually in the report, the reporter, I forget his name, he says that there's actually like 30 plus opportunity zones across the state of Nebraska. So we'll definitely love to learn more about what that means, what's expected, what kind of resources are made available for such opportunity zones, quote unquote. And Sister Kimmer, if you have any dates on those meetings surrounding that, definitely drop that into the chat. Let us know.
For sure. Appreciate that very much. 7:40 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, let's see. She just jumped in. I'm telling you, sign up for the Urban Institute emails. I learned about opportunity zones back before COVID. Right on.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate that. The Urban Institute emails. We'll have to check that out and definitely look into that. Yeah.
Gotta tap in.
That. Yep. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story, because we have to get to it before our guest comes through here shortly. What's next on the agenda, buddy?
Well, I kind of teased it, still sticking with the housing vibe, but moving on to what the citizens are doing. Of course, we just talked about what HUD could be doing or necessarily isn't doing. But again, the people aren't waiting on HUD or really anybody to really step up before they step up for themselves, electing to unionize, which is something that is fairly new as far as a tenants union. Of course, I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with workers unions and in areas like carpentry and rail workers and other especially manual labor that having unions. But again, tenants unions is definitely something that is fairly new but picking up steam. This is something we've actually been talking about for the last couple of years, and shout out to Tenants United, who's been very active on the scene and fighting for tenants' rights for quite some years. But again, just recently, Channel 3 is reporting on specifically the tenants at Dewey Apartments, located at 33rd and Dewey in Omaha, who all voted to form a union. Our residents reported issues including stains and bugs in the building. Sounds familiar. The newly formed union sent 13 demands to the building's owner. Again, in partnership with Omaha Tenants United. It's actually Omaha Tenants United's first new union formed since a case about the ability to even operate was dismissed. If you remember, there was some legal challenge a couple years ago surrounding, I believe, Tenants United's chance or really attempt. There we go. It's the word I was thinking at unionizing in the past. One of the tenant our union members, says every time I find one, I freak out just too much. I can't even watch movies because of the bugs. Again, talking about some of the conditions that they have to live in these apartments. As far as some of their requests, I apologize, lost my article. As far as some of their requests, again, according to the union's document, members sent 13 demands. Those demands include a reduction in monthly rent, also automatic lease renewals, and making repairs in the building. So again, this is definitely something that is not foreign. Of course, these are some of the same requests, some of the same issues that we've seen a couple of years ago when we were very, very focused on the towers situation, and we still don't know, what the current status on that situation is. So again, as you mentioned, we have talked to Mayor Ewing about the housing situation in the past, but definitely would love to give more insight on what's going on with these situations. And again, it might have to reach back out to our friends over at Tenants United to see, hear directly from them, see what they have going on.
Yeah, to me, I think that's the news piece of that is this union that they helped form. So we were kind of around when Tenants United was getting fired up back in the day. Shout out to Doug Patterson, who was a major part of that, and he had a show called Doug and Mika on Mind and Soul, and talked a lot about that back in the day. And then they formed this group. And it's interesting to see what they do. I knew that they were fighting for tenants' rights. They weren't a lawyer group, so they always are getting tagged with, "Hey, you're giving them legal advice," and no, we're just letting people know their rights. So they're always in some kind of fight, and this is a move that surprised me. Even I hadn't heard that they were planning on trying to help form unions, and so this is interesting. That to me is the news on this. There's always people in some buildings and some towers fighting the towers, fighting the buildings for them to come and act right with them, make repairs, get rid of pests. Make it safe, make it, it's their property. They own it. They need to make sure that there's not a bug infestation and everything else going on. So we always are hearing people about fighting individually on these levels. But every time they get into the situation where they want to unionize or get together, a lot of the other tenants get scared because they don't want to lose their spot. They don't want to leave. And so there's not a lot of the togetherness that happens when they they don't really form unions and form groups to go fight the owners this way. So this is new to me. It's kind of news. I know this happens all over the place, I'm quite sure, but it's new to me. And it's interesting that Tennis United is helping them unionize in order to try to fight this.
Man, I mean, just to think the fact that, okay, you naturally intrinsically have rights, like in this country, you're at least supposed to have rights. And the fact that, again, this organization that's just trying to inform you about your rights had to fight for the right to do that. It is very, very interesting. But as you said, big shout out to those at Tennis United. And we'll definitely keep an eye on this situation. If anybody has any insight, let us know.
Before we get to our guests, I just want to jump in the chat real quick. Ariel's 402 is saying, seems like Creighton wants to develop the R one way, the area one way. Maybe Senator McKinney wants to develop it another way. We'll have to ask Senator McKinney when he comes on. He also says, seems like Creighton wants to develop the area one way. Same thing. Okay, got you. Yeah, it could be. Very well could be. Also, when I think about this development and I think about what happens too, remember when we were talking about that one building that the people were throwing stuff out of the window just to move out of because the elevators were broke. We came back to that story and they had evicted folks and wasn't allowing people to stay there and it was kind of a mess and it really made me go, oh, they're about to try to do something with this building. They're making this an opportunity, maybe get these people out that they didn't want in there in the first place and do something with it. So again, we are always talking about gentrification. This is kind of tied into some of the things that Anthony Rogers Wright is talking about as well, saying about the opportunity zones, saying opportunity zones and gentrification are deeply intertwined economic concepts. The Oz program, established in 2017 to spur investment in economically distressed communities, said frequently accelerates gentrification because the tax incentives reward rising property values. The program often attracts luxury development, subsequently displacing long-term low-income residents. So a few factors that are involved, maybe the opportunity zones can go that way. Some of the meetings I've been to about the opportunity zones in North on the Deuce, in the Deuce area, I definitely see them trying to take some control of. So that's a different situation than it might be a different situation. It might be what Anthony Rogers Wright is talking about, part of that. But also, putting that thought together with some things that happen with these tenants. There's always a little bit of a gamble because there's a fight. If you're going to go out here and fight for it, you might be in a little bit of trouble when it comes to whether or not you keep your place or lose your place, or if they use this as an opportunity to come in and try to gentrify the area or redo or kick everybody out and start a new building instead of just fixing the things that people need in the time frame they need them and not displace folks. Sometimes that is a problem. So I can kind of see that being a issue there. So we'll have to talk a little bit more. Maybe we can even have somebody on from Tennis United to talk about how this union is going to work, how these things are going to work, and anybody in planning and these other areas of the city where we can kind of understand like what people's plans are, what they're trying to do, what the fight is. Love to hear more and more about it. So most definitely. Let's take it. Let's see here. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with our guests. So let me handle that, buddy. Would you like to jump into the chat here or let's figure this out real quick.
Yeah, while Paul handles that, there's a couple things to dive into. Appreciate everybody jumping into the chat, especially with your questions for the mayor as we get that set up. Definitely, if you have some questions, some ideas, some concerns, drop that in the chat. We also bring him here, to speak to you as well. So this is an opportunity to interact with your mayor. So again, big shout out Anthony Rogers Wright, Donnell Sessions in the chat. Donnell is asking about let's see, Omaha Housing Authority has not moved on the wait list since 2022. This is a huge part of the housing crisis conversation. So definitely want to dive into that. But as we prepare for that, also I wanted to dive into this other conversation that hopefully we can get into with the mayor. This is echoing and really on the heels of what happened in Lincoln, or I believe earlier this month or late last month. If you remember, voters in Lincoln elected to move forward with the $15 minimum wage, even though the state level kind of warned against it. If you remember that, now conversations are happening in Omaha about possibly following suit. Again, Omaha city leaders, as reported by KETV7, are preparing to consider an ordinance that would separate the city's minimum wage from the new statewide restrictions approved by lawmakers earlier this year. Again, mirroring the move in Lincoln. Omaha City Council president, specifically Danny Begley, in the article says, "I support what Lincoln did, and I'm looking forward to bringing that into the city of Omaha for discussion and hoping we get the votes to pass it because the voters spoke crystal clearly." Begley said he wants the city's law department earlier this month to draft the ordinance, and he said it's still drafting in the drafting process. Excuse me. But again, the move follows a very lopsided 6-1 vote by the Lincoln City Council, which again approved ordinances that was introduced by Councilman James Michael Bowers, which again sought to counter provisions by LB 258, which has a youth work requirement as far as lower minimum wage for those at 14, 15 years, and then also has an increase, annual increase as far as how it's an incremental increase for minimum wage. Pretty much by the time we get to the actual minimum wage level, it's still going to be not enough money. So again, the law created again a separate lower minimum wage for 14 and 15-year-old workers, and changed annual wage increase from inflation base to a hard cap at about 1.75%. Mike Hilgers, again, who's the Nebraska Attorney General, which I am curious about as far as how Mayor Ewing will feel about this pushback as at the state level from Attorney General Mike Hilgers, who again criticized Lincoln's move, saying that they disputed its legality in a formal opinion, saying the city's ordinance is scheduled to actually start taking effect July 18th with the inflation-based percentage, again contrary to state legislation that has been passed. So again, looks like city of Omaha or city of Lincoln already, and city of Omaha possibly following suit on taking matters into their own hands in regards to a floor, an economic base for our workers as far as minimum wage. And I do want to remind you that at the federal level, I do believe minimum wage is still $7.25, which is half of what we're talking about, and still not enough. So
like Kendra said,
here we
not
are.
enough.
Yeah, right. It's not enough. It's not enough. How we looking on the tech side? What's the word? What's saying?
Well, they're working on it, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, according to this, I see in the chat, Ariel's Pro 2 is saying, do not patronize any business that does not want the raise. We talk about this raise. We talk about these raises all the time. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me, we're still trying to get the mayor on 1 second. I have to come back and finish that thought.
Okay. Actually, I want to jump on that as far as what Paul is saying, and I do appreciate Mayor Sanchez, the other mayor in the family. Again, talk about do not patronize any businesses, because this has been central to the conversation as far as specifically the business owner, the owner of a grocery store chain. Again, Senator Raybould, who has been very vocal about not raising minimum wages, which is interesting, especially that 14 to 15, even lower minimum wage, because, those are sometimes the workers. A lot of people's first job at 14, 15, and 16 years old is at a grocery store. So to see not only the owner of a grocery store chain, but also a legislator, somebody who can make law or at least influence law, saying that she doesn't support minimum wage, it's interesting. And sometimes you do have to question what are the incentives, what are the motives behind these political stances, if you will. In the article, Raybold is quoted saying both parents work outside the home and they're struggling to pay for their children, and any labor increases have to be passed on to those families. So again, saying that any youth going to work will be to the detriment. But also, pardon himself, Bowers, who's quoted in the article, says that Lincoln's ordinance was introduced to uphold the will of the voters, which is another layer to this conversation because, again, voters did vote to pass minimum wage. This was an ordinance that was put on the ballot. Voters supported it, and yet here we are with more conversation, more back and forth, again, undermining the voters' will, which at a certain point we gotta really lean into like why that is, as far as again the people who we elected to represent our will basically adopting the ideology that the voters don't know what they're talking about. What's the whole point of a vote if that's the feeling? So again, a lot of layers to that conversation, but we'll continue talking about it. I don't know, Paul, did you want to finish your thought?
No, I want to
No,
go
okay.
to a break. I'm still trying to get this. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop queuing me up for stuff. I'll jump in. You queuing
My
me up
bad,
for
my
stuff.
bad,
I
my
ain't ready. Yeah, we're still trying to get the mayor on, so bear with us through the technical difficulties we got going on here. But yeah, that last thought that you just said is always one that lingers to me. How we are voting in representation that wants to act like they know better than what we voted, right? It's kind of crazy. It is kind
Man.
of crazy. But let's take a quick break. 7:55 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, thanks for bearing with us. We are working on it, trying to get the mayor on right now, having to deal with a little bit of technical difficulties here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God. We'll be right back.
The ballot or the bullet explains itself. We have a fight that's common to all of us. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. The ballot or the bullet.
Step into history at the Omaha Freedom Festival with our Negro Leagues and Black Baseball Storytelling Series, a powerful celebration of America's baseball legacy. Join us Saturday, June 13th, 2026 at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Hear from historians and icons as they bring the rich history of the Negro Leagues to life. Just download your free ticket at omahafreedomfestival.com. Don't miss this celebration of history, heritage, and America's game. Only at the Omaha Freedom Festival. We're turning up the heat for Omaha Freedom Festival's night concert with Carrie Hilson, Life Jennings, and R&B superstar and Grammy-nominated Nivea, hosted by Josh Jones and music by DJ Chain. Don't miss one of the biggest R&B nights Omaha has ever seen. Join us Saturday, June 13th at Gene Leahy Mall Pavilion. Doors open at 7 p.m. Concert starts at 8:30 with fireworks after. Tickets at omahafreedomfestival.com or in person at LaFleur's New Look Fashion. Celebrate culture, music, and community at the Omaha Freedom Festival.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Shout out to the Freedom Festival. We have some VIP tickets that we're going to be giving away to that Freedom Festival, to that Carrie Hilson Life Jennings show. That's the one that you, after you get done doing the things with the kids during the day for the Freedom Fest, take the kids home, get the babysitter, and go about and check out some nightlife, some of the nighttime concerts. And again, we'll have Brother Calvin Williams on very soon and do some giveaways here. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for everybody who is anticipating what's going on this summer with Joy Fest, Noma Fest, the Juneteenth Festival. There's so many things going on this summer to be looking out for. Definitely check it out. Appreciate everybody hanging tough with us. We're coming up on that second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning. It looks like we may have our guest in. No picture. Let's see if we can capture him here. Mayor Ewing, are you there?
I'm here. For whatever reason, it won't grant me access to use my camera. and I don't want
Oh,
to try anything else and mess it up.
okay. Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming in. Maybe we'll just do an audio one today if you don't mind. Can you hear us?
No.
Okay. Still having a little technical difficulty there with that. Yeah, apologize for that. Can you hear us? Okay. Might want to restart because we can't hear you either on that one. Yep. Apologize, man. I thought we had this worked out here. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is today. It might be something that Restream is doing. Who knows? Who knows? You know us. It's always like, are we getting sabotaged? You never really never really know. But we'll go. We'll wait on. Let's see. Let's just wait on him to. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, I see. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Apologize, you guys. We'll let him try to come in there. When we're keeping the audio on, Mayor Ewing. So if you can hear us, just chime up while we try to see what's happening. I would suggest you restart if you can hear us. Restart. Right on. In the meantime, between time, let's move on real quick while we're seeing if we can get him on. We definitely have some questions. This is going to be the one that we had some questions about. Anthony Rogers Wright is asking about MOPA, MOPOA. That was definitely a question we can ask and talk about as well. And also, Donnell Sessions had a question in the chat about Mayor. Please ask Mayor and McKinney if they are aware Omaha Housing Authority has not moved on the wait list since 2022. Man, she said that's a huge part of the housing crisis conversation, and not the most important part. This, if not the most important part, this should be addressed. Without options and resources for people of Omaha are suffering, are being ignored. Wow. Not understanding what's going on there for real. Getting a call again, buddy. Why don't you go ahead and we can roll on to the next real quick while I take this. Be right back.
Yeah. Just again, another while we're talking about economic development and minimum wage, just an article out of WOWT, kind of highlighting again what people are dealing with. And this is, reminding me of kind of similar energy around the pandemic when pantry lines were very, very long. Again, this is rising grocery costs drive more people to Omaha food pantries is the headline, looking at the Micah House and the St. Vincent de Paul food pantry, which is actually one of the volunteers highlighted in this article. Mr. Gary Henningsen, a volunteer, is at the pantry 3 days a week, and said he and other volunteers have noticed an increase in people coming in. Again, he says, we've been talking about how the numbers have grown over the last several months, probably increasing to 10 to 20% category. For him, it is concerning, a trend that the pantry is trying to stay on top of, saying people are hurting for food and they're looking around and they're looking for places where they can go and get food. We try to have a very sort that they can do so they can come here and get food. But again, it's limited. The pantry allows people to come in once a month and regulates how much food they can take. Other area organizations are also seeing different impacts. Schools letting out for the summer also puts a strain on shelters like the Micah House. Ashley Flatter, who's executive director of the Micah House, says where we would see an increase is the number of families and women who are calling to get on the wait list. And that does typically tend to go up in the summer months. Also, Micah House runs a small pantry for their clients, saying it seems that when people plant things like tomatoes and cucumbers, you end up with an abundance of those things, and those things are what we need on a regular basis. So we've actually highlighted, you can find those on Friends of First Sky, several seed giveaways, and just trying to be creative and how we can support each other. I mean, that's really been the main question in the season of Follow the Money, as we see the country, the economy deteriorate before our very eyes. How can we come together? How can we pull together to house each other? Shout out to, again, Tenants United, but also feed each other. Again, shout out to Cleese Dombeck and some of the Friends of First Sky that have been sharing the seed giveaways and some of the other food pantry and just food giveaways and community events that have been going on. Again, you can find that information on Friends of First Sky. We also highlight some of those things in our weekly wrap newsletter. Also, again, building out and still developing our community community resource dashboard, which you can find on the bottom menu of our website, firstskyOmaha.com. We are still taking, insights, still taking information. If anybody has any leads on any pantries, any food resources, family resources, please let us know. Because again, we're trying to grow that out, and next season is teamwork make the dream work, and we're trying to put the team together to make that dream work. Again, a dream of just a just a general quality base of living, where people can have roof over their head, food over their stomach, the basics, if you ask me. So again, not quite sure what's going on the back end, but again, big shout out to those of you still hanging out in the chat. I did want to jump to Pop's comment in the chat. I appreciate that, kind of talking about the people's political will, and again, our ability to have people help us out, saying the founding fathers set up the political system with the thought in mind that average people don't know what is best, and gave the representatives the ability to legally override the voters' wishes, which I was going to say earlier is something about my drive. When I drive through the country, actually, I enjoy driving and taking those long trips, driving through this country, because it gives me an opportunity to see the country. You know what I mean? I'm driving through major metropolitan cities like Nashville, Kansas City, St. Louis on my way here, but I'm also driving through those rural areas, some of those back roads and state highways, and going past the Dollar General in the middle of nowhere, if you catch my drift, seeing those communities and really kind of thinking to myself, like, getting a sense of what this country really is and how this country really is. And that's something that you don't really get by staying in your silos and your communities and your own neighborhoods, until you go out in the rural areas and really see this country for what it is. It's kind of interesting perspective.
Definitely. Appreciate that. Yeah, I did a lot of driving cross country myself. All my years coming up, as a matter of fact, and I can echo that sentiment. And the only thing that makes me nervous about it is driving through certain parts of America, because that's another part of that experience as well. So
Man,
yeah, so
definitely,
we got to
thought about that.
navigate. Just to let people know, we did the. Oh, wait a minute. I think we might have the mayor after all. Okay, I was getting ready to call it. Hold on, let's see if we got him in there. Okay, Mary Ewan. Hey, there he is. Can you?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's working now. I don't know what I did.
Hey, listen. By now on this show, we go through these technical difficulties all the time. So it might not even been you today. It could have been the program restream. So you never know.
Well, it let me in for a second, then it wouldn't let me use my camera. Then it's still showing that I can't use my camera, but I see I'm on camera, so I don't know.
Okay, all right. The gremlins that shut us down in the first place, we might have the other gremlins that let us in. So we'll take it. We'll take it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, thank
Oh,
you for
thank you.
bearing with us through this. Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. I know you're a man on the schedule. You're a busy dude. So
Yeah,
I
I've
hope
got a few extra minutes today, so I can stay till, what do we normally do, about 20 minutes or so?
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we can do 20 minutes if you guys still have the time.
Appreciate it.
Perfect.
We absolutely
Perfect.
have the time for you. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in, dive in. We definitely got a few questions here from the things we've generated, and also from what our chat chimers generated. Buddy, you want to go ahead and dive in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, especially through the technical difficulties. And we do have a few questions from the chat chimers, a few questions we prepared. So yeah, we can go ahead and dive into it in respect to your time. Of course, yesterday was the photo op, the big opportunity. The federal HUD director came through and examined and visited the opportunity zone at the Highlander. And first of all, let's dive into the opportunity zones. We're kind of still learning about this, having the conversation with our chat based on your understanding and what you viewed yesterday. What is the opportunity zone and what is it supposed to do?
Sure. Well, what the opportunities zones are supposed to do is allow people to invest in communities. And then normally when you make an investment, you pay capital gains tax, I should say.
Mm.
With opportunity zones, if you leave that money invested for 10 years, then there's no tax due. So it's an opportunity to get individuals who might have additional resources, whether it's a philanthropic organization or individual, to be able to invest in opportunities where we have poverty, you have high crime in some instances, you're trying to build affordable housing, all of those things. So it's a great opportunity to partner with the federal government and the state government. And what happens is the federal government now has made it permanent. So that means it provides some certainty for cities, states, and even investors and nonprofits to know that it's not going away anytime soon.
Mm.
So, having said that, then what happens is, in terms of a process, we take a lot of input from individuals in the community looking at census tracts. And so people recommend to us areas that they think should be part of an opportunity zone. We got 15 recommendations, primarily in South and North Omaha. And with those 15, we submitted those to the governor's office. The governor's office makes the decision on which ones are going to be considered opportunity zones. And based on population and some other factors that they make, we're hoping to get 9 of the 15.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. So does that mean that this will kind of open the door to more activity from HUD, like the federal level in Omaha?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Very
That
similar to what you've seen in North Omaha with 75 North and some of the other things you've seen as the development has moved further north along 30th Street, including the former Spencer homes and all of those areas, as well as if you look at South Omaha, you have Canopy South and all of the development that is going in over there at the former South Omaha projects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm glad you actually brought up those projects. We've been looking at, not just the Highlander, but also Canopy South, who's moving forward with that project in South Omaha. And as we engage with the community, one of the biggest concerns is displacement, as we kind of see a changeover in these areas. Just from the city level, what is, I guess, the plan to stem off displacement, or just to make sure that that's not an issue as far as
Sure.
gentrification being a concern?
Well, one of the things you have to look at first is that this is not just bringing in higher priced housing and things of that nature. It's mixed use, so you have affordable housing, you have workforce housing, you also have market rate housing. If you look, secondly, the people who were, especially, I know a little bit more about Canopy South in this respect, because Highlander 75 North was started quite some time ago, about 16 years ago. So I don't know what their process was. But in South Omaha, the original residents of South Omaha are the one, or the South Omaha projects are the ones who get an opportunity to say they want to stay. So it's not building these and then saying you have to go live somewhere else. It's building these and saying you get to stay if you want to stay.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, okay. And I will say, just personally, seeing the development of the Highlander, I grew up in that area, and I do know people and have known people that lived in that area. So I am kind of always just wondering how that works out as far as I feel. But I will say I have seen at least some semblance of people from the community staying there. But
Absolutely.
I do want to move to the OHA properties, because that's also
Sure.
part of this conversation as far as HUD and some of the nicer developments like we just named, but some of the more historical locations like the towers throughout North Omaha, really North and South Omaha, have been a heavy topic of conversation. What is that status, and has HUD talked about that in this last visit?
No, they didn't talk about that at all. Joni Balk was actually there as part of the meetings and talking to the HUD secretary, but I did not hear any conversation specifically about that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
interesting that you. I didn't know that Johnny was there. We've had a lot of people who comment on the way that things are being dealt with in the towers there. Is there? I wanted to ask you straight up: is there any reason why Senator Terrell McKinney wasn't invited to that meeting?
Yes, there was a reason that there were only two elected officials there.
Okay.
There
What
was
was that reason?
myself and the governor.
Okay.
And that's what the governor's office, working with the Secretary of HUD, decided they wanted to do.
Got it. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, concerning a little bit, just because of all the work that Senator McKinney's been doing in this particular area. So
Yeah, well, I didn't make the invitation
Right.
list,
oh, no, we get it.
and
We get it.
I
We
didn't
heard you.
I didn't know until right as I was finishing a meeting with her that even the city council representative was not invited. We asked her if she was going, and she indicated that she had not been invited. So I think they just wanted the governor and the mayor there, and then the secretary of HUD, and then some of the partners that we have.
Hmm.
And Joni from housing. So,
Oh,
okay.
there were a number of partners there, including the Front Porch Executive Director,
Oh,
Hmm.
Charlene Rogers with 75 North. So all of our partners were there. Some of my planning folks were there as well. I think they just wanted two elected officials.
got it. Appreciate that. On the subject of the opportunity zones, I there's just so I can get it straight. It does it. Are you said that the mayor, the governor is the one that makes the decision? Are you the one as the mayor sending the request to the government? Are you choosing which opportunity zones to
No,
send to him? Okay.
we're not choosing anything. We got 7 or 15 requests. The only ones that I'm aware of that weren't submitted were one or two that were submitted after the deadline. But
Mhm.
every one that was submitted in time, we sent them to the governor.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
So what?
go ahead.
Just wondering how those requests came about. Like, did the organizations in these specific areas they fill out a request, or like
Yeah,
who
there were
who?
people from all over the city, elected officials, partners that sent us requests.
Mm-hmm. So if us as is First Guy Omaha really in trying to be involved in the 24th and Lake Street, the Deuce kind of revival, we'd have to appeal to the governor to say pick us for the opportunity zone type of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what input he's going to take, but that's something that if people have a strong preference, they certainly can try to reach out and see if that will make a difference in the selection process.
Very nice. Thank you for the information. I had getting bits and pieces of it, and I'm
Sure.
understanding from a higher level now
Yeah, I
what that could be.
understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm learning new stuff every day.
I bet. I bet.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And I am curious. With this latest, with this, visit from HUD, how does that impact your overall plan? I know when we had our initial conversation with you in your office, you said you have a plan for housing, and was very clear about that. How does that impact your plan, and what role does HUD play in it?
Sure. One of the things they mentioned yesterday that I'm always interested in is they've developed a best practices in terms of looking at things nationally. So they're going to send that to us. We're going to take that along with the information we have gotten so far from community input from the homeless or the affordable housing task force,
Mm.
and then look at making sure we're doing best practices. I think that's the most important thing to me, is making sure we're doing all of the things we're supposed to do in planning, doing all of the things that we're supposed to do when it comes to permits and inspections, speeding that process up, looking at ways to make housing less expensive as we look at the building code, zoning, all of those type of things. Like I said at the press conference yesterday, everything's on the table for me because I'm looking at how can we partner with the federal government who has the resources that we don't have,
Mm-hmm.
partner with the state who makes the decision on where the opportunity zones are, partner with the philanthropic community who normally puts in additional resources with the federal government to make sure we're working with developers to get great projects for people so we have affordable housing. One of the things I want to be careful of is as we're developing these plans, as we're developing these sites, is I don't want to go back to just developing sites with all affordable housing.
Mm.
Because if we do that, then we're not doing anything differently than the warehousing of people in the projects like before. I think, Paul, you mentioned having lived there. Well, I lived there as well. And I remember some things about that time that I think these affordable housing mixed use developments actually work better, because one of the things I talked about in another podcast recently is when there was segregation, one of the benefits to the African American community was you saw people of all levels, doctors, lawyers, you name it, in our community. And our young people had role models. This allows families who need affordable housing to be in neighborhoods with people who have successful careers, so our young people can see role models. So I think I want to make sure we're doing that versus warehousing people.
I hear that.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to jump in here just on the housing tip before we get to the next thing, because if we talk about housing, we got to talk about the houseless folks as
Sure,
well.
absolutely.
And last time we talked to you, we remember hearing you say some things about money from the opioid settlement that can help with some homelessness services. Is that plan still going? Still underway?
Yeah, we're still working through the details to make sure we can do that. We've also had some conversations with one of the philanthropic organizations to be able to do what is really the long-term answer, and that is to provide housing for individuals so that they can then have permanent housing. That is the key. If we do everything else and we don't get people in housing, we haven't changed their lives. If we can get them in housing, then we can help them get the treatment they might need for drug addiction, for alcohol addiction, for mental health issues, and other issues that they might face. So we're in the process now of being able to work with that philanthropic organization to put together a plan, a long-term plan that will help us address the issue in a real way.
Hmm. Actually, on that level, Lynn Mills is also in the chat asking specifically about the homeless shelter pilot program, asking how successful do you feel the program was, and how will the Omaha Homeless Task Force step in now?
Sure. The pilot was tremendously successful, and we're going to continue doing that work with our partners. One of the things we have to understand with this issue is we've got the homeless that we want to care for. We want to make sure they get the services they need. But then we also have people in the community who are concerned when they see encampments and things like that. So we have to address the homeless and trying to get them the services they need and potentially the permanent housing. But we also have to address the encampments because of potential health concerns and other issues that might be happening at those camps. I won't say the organization, but I was just at a youth serving organization, and they were talking about a homeless encampment where young boys that they served could look out the window and see lewd conduct
Mm.
at the encampment. So we have to ensure that those type of things aren't happening. So it's really a balancing act between care and compassion for the homeless, as well as care for the people in neighborhoods and around businesses and everything. So we think we're striking a good balance with that. And then we know what the long-term solution is. We hope we can get that put in place.
Could you elaborate a little bit on the success? What are the markers of success here in this particular instance?
Sure. Well, one of the markers of success is addressing complaints.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when we get a complaint, instead of encampment maybe staying for weeks and months, we're addressing those, we're getting those cleaned up. The second thing is we're trying to make sure that when we get a complaint about an encampment, we give people the opportunity. We can't make them do it, but we try to give people the opportunity to get the services they need. So if we respond in a timely fashion, offer people the services, try to help people find housing, then that's success for me. And we've addressed them significantly faster. We've got a number of people that have accepted the offer for services. We've had a number of people that have been able to be placed in permanent housing as well.
Okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Short on time, so I don't want to continue on with the housing list, buddy. Unless you got any other housing thing to.
I did have one last question in regards to housing, and it's kind of going along the lines of what the chat is saying, responding to your idea of mixed housing. Ariel's 402 in the chat saying, I understand the visual of mixed housing. The times do not allow for that. Put projects back up and put a modern facade. He says, add a daycare, laundromat, bus stops. And that's kind of where my mind is as far as the services, the totality of a community. It's one thing to have doctors and lawyers there, but resources, as we're seeing projects like the Highlander and other opportunity zones pop up, are those plans being made in tandem with some of the economic development plans like we're seeing with Inland Port Authority and things like that?
If you look at 75 North, you see the whole development where you have the restaurants, you have the coffee shop, you have the venue, you have the program with no more empty pots and the growing of aquaponic plants and all of those type of things. So that's absolutely what you're trying to do. Is you're trying to, when I say mixed use, that's not just affordable and workforce and market rate housing. That's what we're trying to do with all of the developments we're doing as a city, is include mixed use. So you have some retail, you have some restaurants, you have some other amenities, and you'll see that in South Omaha as well. You'll see that down by where we're doing the soccer stadium with Future Forward. You'll see that with the development of the soccer stadium, that there'll be some opportunity for retail, there'll be some opportunity for entertainment. All of those things are part of a neighborhood.
Sounds good.
Okay. Sounds good.
We had Chief of Staff Thomas Warren, your Chief of Staff, over here on the show on Wednesday, asking what he was excited about as far as all the programs going on in the office, and he of course talked a lot about the sports situation, talked about how much money was coming in for all those situations as well. Black Dynamite in the chat is asking, will the city of Omaha throw his hat in the ring for any professional sports as a way to bring revenue into the city?
Sure. Well, one of the things with the soccer stadium is we moved the soccer stadium to the city of Omaha and the pro soccer team. We also are trying to bring a women's soccer team here.
There you go.
I'm not sure that our population base will ever let us get an NFL franchise or an NBA franchise. So what we are going to have to do is two things. One, we're going to have to look at that level just below.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have to look at the opportunity, quite honestly, with women's sports, because women's sports, there's a greater opportunity to be able to play. So you have the Supernovas, for example. That's a pro women's volleyball team. We set the pro volleyball attendance record earlier this year. So we're showing that we have the ability to support sports programs at a little bit below the elite level. So that might mean potentially, as an example, they have an AUSL softball league. And I had conversations with the commissioner to see if they would be interested in Omaha as a home for one of those teams. So we're going to try to pursue opportunities like that. We might be big enough, I don't know if we are, to be able to get a WNBA team or something of that nature. So we just have to realize that we don't have the population base to get a Major League Baseball team or NBA team or an NFL team, but we can be a little tier lower than that. The other thing we have the opportunity to do is obviously keep things like the College World Series here, but we also attract other opportunities like the Ironman competition is here in Omaha this
I didn't
year.
know
Mm.
that. Wow.
RG,
So
RG.
yeah, the opportunity for swim trials, volleyball things, bringing even some of the opportunities for young people in our community or across the state to be able to come to Omaha to compete. So I think that's our market, that's our niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Also thinking like the UFL is a kind of
That
semi-pro
that
league.
could be. We'd have to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
what their requirements are.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And if we have the ability to put a package together in a place for them to play.
Definitely,
That's good.
definitely. Well, we are reaching that 20-minute mark. I know we want to wind down. I have one last question. I don't know, Paul, if you
Sure.
want to go to the
No,
chat or
go
what you
ahead,
think.
wrap up.
Okay, for sure. Well, the last question I had really is kind of wrapping up all of this because you can't necessarily afford the housing, going to the sporting events, any of this economic development if the minimum wage isn't really keeping up with things. There's an article looking at what Lincoln just did, and of course, there's a conversation I'm hearing in City Council in Omaha about a possible similar move as far as the $15 minimum wage and going away from what the state is doing. Would you support that move, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what I have to do is look at two things. One, I don't know of anybody who's probably working at minimum wage right now because of the demand for labor. If there is, that's certainly something I would want to be aware of. The second thing is I want to make sure of how the process is going to work because there's an enforcement piece you have to do. And who does that then? So is that the police department?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have the expertise for that. Is that human rights and relations? They may have the expertise for that, but then they would need additional resources to enforce that. The other thing I would say is what we're looking to do is move beyond minimum wage jobs too, skill people up for the opportunities that are coming with Union Pacific and all of those companies that are
Mm,
going to be expanding in Omaha now because of the Good Life bill that passed that rewards companies for high paying jobs. So I want to be focusing on getting our young people, our adults skilled up for those high paying jobs. And I'll give you an example. One of the things I do is I have conversations with a lot of people. And so I've had conversations with each of the superintendents in Douglas County, asking them to look at making sure they're doing everything they can to encourage dual enrollment. With dual enrollment, some kids in OPS, some kids in Millard and West Side and Elkhorn are actually graduating with college credit when they leave high school. Some of them are actually earning their associate degree and graduating from a metropolitan community college before they graduate from high school.
mm,
So
Mm-hmm.
then that allows them to compete for those jobs. And then here's what happens when wages rise at every level, then wages will rise as well as people have to compete for labor. The other thing that happens is when you bring those high paying jobs in, then you create a lot of secondary opportunities as well. for restaurants, for barbershops, for beauty salons, for any service that people want, you create more of a demand for those things. So I'm
Mm.
trying to get it where we raise the bar in terms of our preparation, and then we compete for those jobs. So one of the things we were able to do with 1165 is retain Union Pacific here. Union Pacific is looking to bring up to 2,000 high-paying jobs.
Yeah.
Other companies are looking to expand as well. So I want all of our young people, all of our people who need additional education to have access to that so they can compete for those jobs. And then those who maybe can't get that additional education still have opportunities because of the secondary jobs that would be created.
I appreciate you reminding us about the Union Pacific deal coming. There's a lot of jobs we should be getting people prepared for sure.
Absolutely. We've got to get people prepared. That's my number one thing. If we get people prepared for those opportunities, then they can be even more successful. And here's what I would tie into that as well, because I think people miss it because they have a thought about what affordable housing is. Affordable housing really is being able to spend 31% or less of your income on housing. If we increase your income, did we make housing more affordable?
Mm.
So all of this stuff works together. I think some people want to go into this working in silos and just look at this issue.
Right.
You can't look at one issue. You've got to look at all of the things that flow into that. That's why we have the 7 task force groups, because I believe all of those things are interrelated. And we have to have a reasonable number. We can't have 20, because if we have 20, we can't get the work done. But
Mhm.
7 is a number where I think we can get the work done and pull all of this stuff together. So
Mm.
it's really about building a comprehensive plan, a comprehensive approach.
7 is a good number. We like 7.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We're going to go ahead and let you go, but I just wanted to mention Senator Terrell McKinney is in the chat. He did say 2 senators was there, Jacobson and Von Gillerin.
They were not at the meeting I was at. They might have been there at some morning meeting that I wasn't even invited to.
Well, like we already got word from you, it was really kind of the governor's decision on who was going to be the governor and the HUD guy
Yeah.
who's going to be in the room.
And at the afternoon session,
Hmm.
there was the governor and myself. I did not see any elected officials.
Yeah.
Now, there was a morning meeting that they had that I wasn't even a part of, so I don't know who was there.
Yeah, it's all good. We appreciate that. Just want to reiterate, around here, Senator Terrell McKinney is one of the most wisest, diligent dudes. He's been doing so much work in that area as chair of urban affairs, and just want to make sure
Sure.
if you can if you can ask influence anybody to get him in the room, please do, because he's on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would have liked all of the elected officials in Omaha to be a part of that. I
sure.
believe they've all done work for these type of things. Senator McKinney has been a leader in that area. I
For sure.
also believe Councilwoman Lavanya Goodwin has done some great things with the BID, and
Agreed.
Commissioner Chris Rogers has done some great things as well. And Senator Ashley Spivey has done some great things and continues to do great things. So I don't minimize the work that they do. They've all been good partners with the city as we look at trying to move forward. I just did not control the invitation list. And as I said, I didn't know that City Councilwoman Goodwin was not invited till we finished up a meeting with her and we asked her if she was coming.
Right. No, it's understandable. We kind of have in the back of our brains a little bit why some of that agenda happened the way it did, and we've learned to listen to the way that you say things to confirm a few things as well. So, we appreciate you taking the time and working through the tech to get to us. Really appreciate that. I know that you meet with a lot of mayors and stuff all around the country as well. And we just wonder about, we were fans of Zoran around here. Has Mendami been impressing you at all? Is there anything that you?
Well, I think he's in a different city.
Yeah.
But I think he's done some really good things with balancing the budget and all of those things, because I think those things are important to be able to provide the services that people need.
Yeah.
While also being fiscally responsible. So that's what we're trying to do here as well. I'm going to be at the U.S. Conference of Mayors here in about 2 weeks. And I'm going to be sharing, as the first mayor who bought into this effort, the opportunity to have a national infrastructure bank. So I believe there's a lot of things that we can be doing together as mayors. I look at mayors as the place where the rubber meets the road. A lot of the other positions, they have political philosophies.
Right.
I have no political philosophy. My job is to figure out what's best for the city of Omaha, working with the great partners that I have.
Okay. Well, proud that you're gonna go out there and represent Northside, and when you go to that meeting of the mayors, that's
Absolutely.
what's up.
I'll be the
Yes, sir.
one presenting the resolution to all the mayors across the country.
Wow.
Man. Okay.
Well, we appreciate you. Appreciate all
Oh,
your
hang
efforts.
on. I got another thing that we'll
Okay.
be doing here this week.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, early next week. We'll actually be going to Chicago to see President Barack Obama's presidential library.
Whoa. Okay.
Mm.
And then I'll get the opportunity to brag about Omaha and what we've done in terms of our educational efforts, our economic development efforts, and health, and all of those areas that we've been working with the senators and others on with the Empowerment Network. And then the favorite one for me, because at the end of the day, if we reduce gun violence and we reduce homicides, think about the lives we've saved and the people that are still here able to contribute to our community. But I'll be able to brag about the fact that a city of almost 500,000 people only has 3 homicides this year.
Wow.
Even the governor yesterday, when he was talking about Omaha, talked about Omaha being the safest city in the country.
Even the governor said that, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Well,
interesting.
tell them to
That,
quit building jails. Then we don't need no more jail
well,
houses.
I think we could spend our resources more wisely. So I'll just
Agreed.
say it that way.
Agreed.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm glad we got
Okay,
you
thank
today.
you guys.
Talk to you soon.
Have a good
Okay,
day.
bye.
Bye bye. All right. I'm becoming a fan of the way that he says things and then says things. Secondary matrix speaking.
Yeah. got to pick up, read between the lines.
Yeah, you gotta pick up what he's putting down. It's going down.
Yeah,
We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and jump back into the conversation. Appreciate everybody that came through, asked some questions, had some comments. Thank you. Yeah, let's take a quick break and come back and finish out the show. First guy, Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Stay tuned. Be right back, y'all.
Black. One move, we move. Just like that. Just like one move, we move. Just like that.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All B, that's me. Buddy to God, that's him. Appreciate that. Amy Ryan in the chat. What's up? First Guy fam in the house.
Hey, squad.
Thanking the mayor. Appreciate that. Brother Pena Valadares. That's good seeing you again, man. He said he's talking about affordable child care and vouchers are a problem. How can the city help? Got some good questions there. We'll definitely save those for the next time they come through. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody that came through. Ceci Jean in the house saying thank you, Mayor Ewing. Thank you. Appreciate that for sure. Ariel's 402 says, and reducing gun crimes means less federal involvement.
Man.
Yeah,
My thoughts exactly.
Pops in the chat said he's an awesome mayor. Omaha has been blessed. Right on, Pops. Appreciate that.
Right on.
I love that. I love, gracias, mayor. There you go. Some more thanks. Yeah, we got an interesting opportunity. I was just really thinking about it, especially this week when we had the chief of staff, Tommy Warren, on. We really do. I was explaining to my mom who doesn't really follow politics at all. I was like, you remember Tommy Warren from the police chief back in the day? She said, yeah, I remember him. I said, it's him and Mary Ewing, two young black men from North Omaha that are running the city right now. And she even appreciated that that's what's going on. We are always keeping our eyes open to see what that means exactly, how that pans out. We're asking the questions to see how it pans out. But I really excited. I'm still excited about like what's going on here in our particular city, and just kind of understanding more who he has to work with in order to get some things done too. It kind of reminds me of some other people in other times when it comes to that. Barack Obama being one of them. Being in situations where there were some things he's trying to get done, but everybody around him he had to work with, and a lot of them were opposed to it. And so we're never saying that we need to be able to depend on any one politician or any one seat to do anything that we need to do. And everybody is not perfect, is going to make mistakes, and we're not going to agree with everything that everybody has to say. But as far as working with the people and trying to make some headway in some things, and we can always learn something from everybody. I think we're in a good position too. I really do. I really feel like we got an opportunity here to really kind of do that. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us to really keep things on track, keep asking the hard questions, keep having the hard conversations, having the ongoing conversations, keeping up with things, being the fourth estate, making sure that we're holding accountable the powers that be as the media and news organization we're trying to be. So that's what it is, and all of you could be a part of that, even if you're not have a degree in journalism or anything like that. You can still be a citizen journalist. Still hold the powers that be accountable, just like we got going on here for our content creator camp that's firing up for our third week tomorrow morning. Become a trusted source, use your creator skills, and become a citizen journalist. Hold those in power accountable. That's all fourth estate business right there. And that's what this is all about. First, your First Amendment right to ask these questions. And if you got questions that you want to ask that we didn't, then bring them on your show and ask them, and have another conversation. I'll watch. I'll watch.
Man, might even chat in the chat or chime in the chat a little bit.
That's right. Chime somebody else's show. That's what's up.
Yeah. But also, News Gang, the Content Creators Camp and Citizen Journalism Program is not just about holding the powers that be accountable, but also telling your story and also declining the narrative, which is something that again we're all about here as far as declining the narrative. Which is, it is interesting when we hear Mayor Ewing talk about the, decline in murder rates and things like that. At the same time, you hear, Klein chiming up, talking about what he's talking about, and Trump sending troops to cities, talking about these cities are so dangerous. It's just funny. It's just funny when you see, the facts and the truth come out. So
I reject the narrative.
Man, there you go. That's it. And man, big shout out to our content creators, our chat chimers, news gang that's doing just that, telling their story, rejecting the master narrative, if you will. And of course, one of the poster children of that, man. Of course, my man Marlon Harrison doing big things. Definitely. Again, if you haven't, as we wrap up here in this last 12 minutes or so, I want to give my brother his flowers, man. Of course, he is a content creator camp alumni, but has gone on and really, got some wind under his own wings and doing his own thing, man. So just proud of him. Of course, seeing the report that he had on KETV. But he's also doing the work as far as Man About Town, pounding the pavement, doing his content creator citizen journalism thing. He actually sent us some pictures. Do we have those pictures?
Absolutely, man.
Man, check him out. Hey, nice and clear. Again, Brother Marlon went around to multiple schools, catching all of our youth as they graduate on his graduation walk. So you see him at Benson, you see him at Omaha North. I think he stopped by Northwest as well. So yeah, man, just big shout out to Marlon Harrison. Of course, First Guy Omaha, love the kids. We've been talking about, again, we have all these conversations about public school education and really the opportunities for these young people. So to see them moving on to the next thing and walking across that stage, it's a beautiful thing, man. So big shout out to Marlon for this photojournalism. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. And it's interesting too. We always tell our content creator camp people, tell the stories from your worlds. You know what's going on in your world better than anybody else. If you learn how to tell that story so that outside people outside of your world can understand it, then you'll be the best person to tell that story. And he does that. He's in education, so of course he's at all these schools seeing these graduations. Again, as a matter of fact, man, I'm gonna play a little piece of this if you will. Hold on one second.
Young man in Omaha on a mission to shatter barriers that have been built around autism. He just was diagnosed this last year.
Yeah, Marlon Harrison says everyone is different, and that's what makes us all special. KETV News Watch 7's Anna Baining has his story.
Autism. Yeah, that's about it. I don't want to say it like that because I want that to be my whole personality. I'm a good person, a big brother, a mentor, work with kids.
You're right, Marlon. You're right. You are right.
I can't watch the whole thing. I'll start
Man.
start getting misty eyed while watching my man. Proud of you, Marlon. Proud of you, bro. Shout out to KMTV for doing that story. Definitely go check KMTV out to watch the whole interview. I didn't want to put the whole thing on the show, so definitely go check that out. Link to it. There's a link in the Friends of First Guy Omaha. Definitely see what he had to say about that. Really representing, man. And it's real interesting. The whole time he's been at several classes now for content creators camp. He's been a chat chimer for years. He comes out to every chat chimers kickback. We've never once had any discussion about his autism at all. He's always just been Man About Town, News Gang, First Guy fam to us. And so I was actually a little bit surprised that was kind of the premise of the story when the story came up, because he never even told us he'd been diagnosed or anything like he just been our brother. So as far as we're concerned, the fact that he can represent and also encourage people who maybe have autism or something like that too to continue striving and doing and being a mentor and doing the work, just more awesomeness. So. And the brother is a history buff too, man. He's part of Native Omaha situation. I mean, man, Marlon Harrison's a cool dude, man about town, doing the work, caring about his community that he thrives and grew up in, always learning about him, we all learned about each other all the time. So it's really a great thing. And that's what this is all about for me, man. We started this off as a typical kind of news show. And, we're kind of doing the opposing, have some hot seat, have both opinions on, so on and so forth. This thing morphed into a building of a family to be able to help each other tell our own stories and have each other's back on everything that we can and try to make some change for all the people that are involved. So he's to me the epitome of that type of deal. Along with a few others, along with a lot of others, not just chat chimers, but ghost listeners and friends of First Guy Omaha, the fam. It's a beautiful thing. So I really appreciate what's being built here. I really enjoy it when we start talking about the 3-plate crew and RG and them and the Iron Man, and we start and Black Dynamite comes in. We start talking about what's going on in the music scene, and it really is something that is special to me. Not just it was so far beyond just a news show. It's crazy. We have actual family in the chat on a daily basis. Keep up with my family on the show more than I keep up with them in real life. Talk to Pops community 3 times a day, 3 times a week. You know what I mean? So, so again, man, just really want to show my appreciation to everybody who is part of what we got going on here, and also respects the way that we try to do it. And comes in and it is like-minded when it comes to these things. I think that we're getting to some points of action, some points of actually making some change and really, helping people at the very least understand some things that they didn't understand before. I think there's something to be said to watch two guys who are on a journey to learn something, and you probably learned it right along with us. And there's something to that more than a lecture from somebody who already knows everything. So,
yeah, definitely leaves that room for growth. You know what I mean? Leaves that room for growth and authenticity too. And it kind of less of the paternalism as you always talk about. You know what I mean? So we're all in this together, man. Definitely on this journey together, and appreciate everybody who's along with it. As you're talking, the word that comes to mind is community. And as I was talking about, I drive around the country and travel a lot, and just observing people. And one of the things that a lot of people are missing, whether regardless of if you're in a small town or you're in a big town, like a New York or LA or Nebraska City. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as you got that community, as long as you got that feeling, that village, it does something to you. It does something to you. And y'all are that for us on the real, man. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Definitely looking forward to this content or this Chat Chambers kickback that's coming up in weeks. We definitely got to make it happen while I'm here. But yeah, in the meantime, between time, man, we got just about 6 minutes. I almost forgot. I was giving shout outs and love to the news gang. I did want to also give shout outs to Sister Cheryl Weston, who we saw in the OPPD documentary with the Sierra Club. She's been very vocal on that. Speaking of news gang, shout outs to Sister Cheryl Weston, been very vocal, highlighting the fight, keeping our air clean and shutting down or at least changing over the OPPD plant. So you can check out that documentary or at least a trailer of that, I believe, on Friends of First Kind Omaha. And shout out, man, to the community, man, the squad. We all we got, but it's enough.
That's real. Matter of fact, while we got a quick second here, I'll go ahead and play this trailer if you don't mind.
Okay.
Jumping in real quick. I think it's something that we need to look into. This is something that was new to me. I didn't see what was going on with it right away until I heard some rumblings that this was happening. But this is pretty interesting stuff. Let's definitely check it out here real quick. Get this fired up.
The coal plant has been polluting for decades, and so it's not like it's only a matter of what's happening today. This has been truly generational.
And then what happens then? The state gets involved and says, I'm going to file a suit against OPPD.
Political sound bites do not substitute for good energy planning. There is noise in the current political climate, but it doesn't justify the continued operation of the obsolete and uneconomic generation.
And all of a sudden these text messages are flowing in, and we're just getting notified that we should support the new resolution, and we were just absolutely devastated.
Either OPPD is saying that they are wrong, or OPPD is saying we don't care. We are going to continue sacrificing the people of North Omaha.
I also want to acknowledge that our communication on this issue has not met expectations, which has affected the trust on the organization.
And every time we get close to getting this coal plant closed, y'all put another goalpost, y'all move it.
That means when you talk about you being transparent and truthful with the public, that's not true.
I have like 60 more years that I have to live on this planet. I want to have a habitable planet. I know you want your kids to have a habitable planet.
People in North Omaha clearly believe the commitment was made by the board and by OPPD. It's our responsibility to recognize and respect the faith they have placed in us to keep our promise.
We're going to have many discussion about OPPD coming up. Shout out to everybody who's been a part of that film, putting that together. You saw we got Chad Chimers right in there, Dr. Cheryl Weston, Anthony Rogers Wright. You see we had they politic with P in there. We got Precious McKesson, Senator Terrell McKinney. A lot of folks that are involved in this particular film chiming up. Anxious to see it, anxious to talk to you guys about it. Man, maybe we ought to talk to Film Streams about showing it.
Might be worth it. Might be worth the conversation. But that's the love supreme, y'all. In a nutshell, again, letting the people see it, letting the people hear it, letting the people feel it in creative ways. That's what it takes, really, to move the needle. Which is, at the end of the day, all we trying to do here at First Guy Omaha is move the needle, make some things happen, and do it together, man. So.
Before I let you, before you wrap it up, buddy, I just want to jump into the chat real quick. We got a couple people that are talking, and I really appreciate you guys coming in. RG says, "Yeah, man, y'all have communication issues with guests going forward. I'm gonna call it the revenge of the swill and blame it on Villain." Ariel's Pro 2 talk about James Brown song. I said, I don't need nothing from nobody, and open up the door. I'll get it myself. Heard that. Yeah, that's funk. That's the funk right there. Marlon Harrison says senior walk pep rallies are when seniors go back their old elementary schools and talk to the students at the school. I low key wish they did this when I was in high school. That's really a good idea. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay.
He said, "Y'all don't make me cry again." I heard that, bro. We Black Dynamite said, "Paul, I went to LaFleur's last weekend and I've been going there for years, but it made me realize that Omaha's my family." Bro, you said it. You said it. Feel that. Feel that. RG says, "Speaking of 3-play crew, nah, buddy, that had its beginnings at the Fun Fest." Okay. Speaking of Fun Fest, we get ready to start talking about our Fun Fest coming up. I think we're going to try to shoot for September instead of October this time, so the weather can be a little bit better, and we'll see how that goes. So stay tuned for information there for sure. Black Dynamite says, especially not having my extended family tree. Yeah, Omaha's family. Big time. Pop says, "Yeah, this is truly a family, and I love being a part of it in a way I have never been a part of anything else." Wow. I love you guys and all the chimers. Appreciate that, Pops. You've been in music groups and stuff since he was a teenager. I kind of think of this as a band in a way, in that way. So for it to be even more so than those things that you experienced is saying something. I appreciate you for sure. Tony Johnson said, "Anthony Rogers Wright representing us as well. That brother is a valuable asset to North Omaha." I agree. He says the situation has gotten worse since you talk about since that documentary. We got to talk about it for sure. Also, Areas 402, how to deal with OPPD. Everyone have but withhold their payment for a year. Boycotting OPPD.
But don't miss the point. He says everybody had the money set aside. But don't pay it. They'll put. I've heard that with rent as well. Like put it in an escrow account or something. And hey, we have the money, but these are our demands. So definitely is something interesting.
To do it in summertime.
Yeah, that part.
He says, "I think Roger right. None of the air quality monitors that were installed are operating right now." Wow. So people have no idea what the actual air quality is in North Omaha is right now. That's convenient. That's convenient that that the monitors are not working. Very convenient. Stop automatic payment to OPPD now. Arrow 402 is saying, says Anthony Rogers Wright, "We are working to change this immediately and meeting with funders to get industrial scale monitors installed in North Omaha." Yeah, we should probably get independent monitors installed.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. They dropped that report saying that, not to believe and now the monitors aren't. It's kind of interesting how that lines up.
It's convenient. Yeah, 9:01 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, a 1 minute past our agreed upon time to end. We appreciate you letting us do that. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, though. Thank you for this this conversation today, and also the questions and comments and respect for the guests. Highly encouraged myself just by what we got going on here for real. So I really appreciate you guys. We got Brother Kasim on Monday. So stay tuned for him. He's going to come through and talk to us about what the Survival Club is doing, what BAA is doing, and catch back up with some of the things that Captain Q is talking about in a big way. Shout out to Brother Kasim. We also got Chris Baby Boy Bowling coming on next week. Got Baby Boy in the house. He's going to be here talking about some of the things that Flatwater got going on for sure. And as Buddy mentioned earlier, we have Amanda Kephart from Film Streams next Friday. So another good week of guests and shows coming up. And also over the weekend, let us know if there's anything going down over the weekend that you think we need to be checking out. You can always put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. We'd love to hear about it. Shout out to everybody who's been doing that as well and populating the page with dope events and all kinds of good stuff happening. So yeah, everybody who's in Content Creator Camp spring cohort, we'll see you tomorrow. And I can't wait to hear your stories. It's going to be awesome. And we'll also be hearing from Chris Baby Boy Bowling tomorrow for this camp as well. He'll be our instructor. So and Buddy's in town. So it'd be very cool.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Stuff going on. Yeah. With that, Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, definitely glad to be here. Hopefully I get to see some of you while I'm here, if not all of you. Definitely, again, looking forward to the Chat Charmer kickback. And yeah, man, just keep on keeping on. Definitely enjoyed this episode, especially with the technical difficulties. Thank y'all for sticking with us and still having your questions ready, man. And also big shout out to Mayor Ewing for working through those technical difficulties to speak to us and answer some kind of tough questions, man. So again, appreciate the mayor, appreciate all of you, and of course appreciate you, Paul, man. As always, man, it's a pleasure doing this with you, man. Cannot ask for a better partner, man. So
likewise.
Yeah, love and appreciate you, bro. And yeah, let's do it again. Same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning, Paul.
In the morning.
Hey. With that, let's get up out of here, man.
Yep. Let's do that. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thanks for the conversation. Good questions, respect for the guests, and the ability for you to, in the way that you have shared the show on your page as well. Appreciate the people that have done that. Shout out to our members, the $10 people, $25 people, $50 people. Thank you. If you are not a member of the channel and you are inclined to help us continue this, then please go to firstsky.omaha.com and hit the join button, become a member, support us there. Also, we can send you rate sheets if you would ever like to advertise with us, which is another really great way to support us as well. So send us an email at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Let us know you're interested. We'll give you a phone call, send you a rate sheet, talk about some deals. So we can also continue to show your commercials and show your advertising and speak on it, which is something that we have that we do that not a lot of other people do. We kind of speak on the subjects that we or the clients that we accumulate, because we don't just take anybody. We actually are only aligned when it comes to clients with people who we are aligned with. Mm-hmm. We decided that we're not really going to take advertising from people that we can't get down with and have a conversation with about what it is they're doing, and we don't get down with what they do. So that's how we do things. But I'm pretty sure that most people listening to us right now that wants to get down on some advertising are people that we already get down with. So hit us up. Love to talk to you about it. Pop says, what a week of shows. He says, thank you, Paul and Buddy. You guys are awesome and a blessing to Omaha as well. Thanks, Pops.
Man, thank you.
Everybody have a great weekend and see you all on Monday. Also, shout out to Miss Erica Feld, who left a little earlier too, telling us to drink water. She had to get off because of the kids. But I appreciate everybody who is a part of our kind of correspondence as well. We got our Southwest correspondent. We got our child care correspondent. We got people who are giving us some reports from their sectors, their areas of expertise that come in and be a part of this fam as well, man. I feel like my mind gets expanded. Like I know more than I actually know, because I have people on deck that are experts in their field, like Senator Terrell McKinney coming on, being an expert in the field that he's in, man. I feel strong about my political power side, just because I got that brother on my side. So those types of things, and I'm proud that I got you on my side, buddy, because that means that my strategic communication is on point because of your expertise. So again, man, appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody here, all the elders especially as well, that give us the cosign. Feels good when the elders like, good job, young man, good job. Feels good.
Yeah,
feels good. I hope to be that kind of dude one day. Right now, I'm like, you ain't ready yet, son. You ain't ready. I'm in OG status, so you ain't ready yet. So one of these days, I'm gonna get to you doing well, son. You're doing well. You're doing all right. All right, man. We're gonna get out of here. Have a great weekend. Well, hopefully we'll see you Monday with Captain Q. Brother Q. Yeah, man. Peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroads